All right, so here's a super quick overview to help you understand about hard edges and soft edges. So whenever you're painting, do not try to actually physically blend your actual picture. It's not going to work. It's going to look really blurry and kind of messy, and it's not going to do what you think it should do. Instead, what I want you to do is think about, do you want a hard edge or do you want a softer edge? So once you've gone ahead and you've painted out your shapes of color, right? Clearly marking out each color difference. Once you've gone ahead and done that, the next step is to go ahead and choose whether or not you want to soften those edges or whether you want to leave them as hard edges. So think about it this way. For the feather here on the bird's head, he's got these little feathers around his head, and I want to leave those because they're kind of popping out from his actual face, right? So leaving a hard edge there, not blending this, makes perfect sense. I have a shadow, I have a highlight, it does the job. These colors in the background, maybe I want to blend them, maybe I want to soften them because the softer they are, the more they're going to recede into the distance, and the more that this hard edge line will pop out from that background. That's really what we're going for. But what happens whenever you run into an area, say like the wings of the bird or the beak of the bird, where you want to soften that edge? So for example, let's look at the actual beak here. I'm going to go ahead real quick and just do a little copy and paste so that way we can see the before and the after. Now on this particular part of the beak right here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my paintbrush tool, and I'm going to hold down Alt Option to grab my eyedropper. I'm going to grab this highlighted kind of pinkish color, which is absolutely perfect, looking really good. Make sure I have an extra soft brush, which I do, and I'm going to drop my opacity down to maybe 20%, something like that. Doesn't have to be exact. Now, whenever I go to paint over top, it's going to look like nothing's even happening. It's barely even perceptible. It's very, very soft, and really, that's what we want. I'm painting a couple times, one over top of the other, on top of the other, and slowly those colors are going to start to blend. If I feel like they're a little too bright, I'm going to grab this new color that I've mixed, right? The combination of the highlight and this shadow color. I can just paint that shadow color back over top. I could grab my new color and paint it over top, and slowly these things start to blend. It's not that I'm actually blending, it's that I'm taking the time to soften my opacity, and that gives me a much softer gradient. Now notice, if you want a super hard-edged line, like on the top of the beak, it makes perfect sense. Just draw a line and you're good to go. But if you want something softer, then you're just going to go ahead and use your opacity. Let's come down and look at the feathers too. I'm going to do the same thing here, copy and paste. And this is just so that we can see the before and after. I'm going to come down to my main layer, grab my paintbrush. I'm going to go a little bit larger this time. Again, super soft and low opacity. Hold down Alt Option. I'm going to grab this kind of orange rust color. I'm going to start kind of softening and painting. Now I'm painting right now. It doesn't look like I'm doing anything. Really, it doesn't, right? But by clicking, 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 and by painting slowly but surely, what I'm really doing is creating a new color. So the orange rust color is here, the kind of reddish breast is right there, but this new color, this kind of red-orange color, I just made that because it's a combination of the two because of its opacity, right? Now I'm able to create this softer blend. If I need it to be a little darker, grab that original red, start painting that back on, right? Now I've got a really soft looking gradient. And notice the difference, right? Notice the difference whenever you're looking at this painting. Do I want my painting to be a really hard-edged painting or really soft-edged painting? So, oops. So, look how soft it is right here. Barely perceptible that there was once a line there, right? Here, and even in the original, you can see it is very clear that there are two dividing lines right there. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. So if you want to blend, you do that by softening your opacity and having a soft brush. Use that eyedropper tool to grab some of the local color and start to paint it where you want it to be. Okay? If you want a hard edge, then just like we did here before with the bird, you just leave that extra hard edge and it will do the job for you. All right? I hope that this little extra helps you out a little bit, and if you need anything else, let me know.